Okay, we know Black Myth Wukong is the biggest Chinese game in video gaming history, taking over the summer, but what's next for Chinese developers? For me, the game to look out for has to be this open world dress up game known as Infinity Nikki. And this is the game that I have kept my eye on, surprisingly, because it just looks so interesting and the people behind this game will surprise you. This is a game that has a lot of quality talent behind it, and not just for appearance's sake. And that's why I have to give my attention to this game, because if you don't know, there's so many good Chinese games coming out, but this one stands out beyond all the others because first of all, there's no other game like it, and I think that's the thing that is catching everyone's interest and eyes on this new game that is doing something that wholly feels fresh and new. And I think that's the thing that is catching my attention. I'm not a person that is usually interested in dress-up transformation games, but it caught my interest because it just looks like something we will never see in the Western games development sphere, because it's almost impossible for a Western games developer to make something that looks this cute. And I think that's the main thing that's drawing people's attention to this game, because it's making something that can't be made in Western games development society. You can't make cute, innocent looking girls anymore in Western games development. They have to be some sort of facsimile of a strong, independent girl boss that doesn't need no men and needs no help from anything in the world that is decidedly masculine. And of course, this game doesn't have anything decidedly masculine in it, but it just looks feminine, and I think that's the thing that is engaging to the major audience that are watching this game, that are playing this game. It just looks like fun, cute, innocent, and feminine, and people are attracted to it regardless of their gender, racial, politics, or anything, because people that have been clamoring for ugly designs like Concord and never playing the game, they're just saying we need ugly designs like this. They're gonna play Infinity Nikki. They haven't played Concord because only 50 people played, but if you look at the engagement for Infinity Nikki, it's the modern audience that should be playing Concord. And you can see it in the images of some of the people at PAX, the games conference, where you look at the people taking pictures and excited for this game. It's the people that should be playing Concord, but they're not playing Concord. They're not excited about Concord, but they're excited about Infinity Nikki. And I think that's the thing that I find very interesting about this game, that is being developed by a Chinese developer that is more focused and in line of making a game that is out there to please a fan base of players that actually purchase games. And I think that's what you're getting with Infinity Nikki here, is drawing an audience of people that actually want to buy games, play these games, that actually like this type of cutesy design and appeal of the game. And I think this is the success that we're seeing in China right now, where they're developing games for an audience of people that want to buy games. We saw this with Black Myth Wukong and its massive success. It's a game that sold over 18 million copies and expects to sell over 30 million copies over its lifetime of the game. And I think this is the situation that we're seeing with Chinese developers. They know how to make the games for the audiences that actually buy games. I think that's what we're seeing with Infinity Nikki, as it reaches over 12 million global pre-registrations for its beta that's about to come out. So people are ready to play this game. Over 12 million people want to play this game already. That's why I say this is probably the next Black Myth Wukong, at least for China. And it seems like China has more hits to come for the games development industry by catering to the fan base that actually buys games. And I think that's what Infinity Nikki does, especially with just his overall character design. This looks like a cute, interesting character that you want to see succeed and fight. All the characters, the fluffy animals, they look cute, they look engaging, the world looks fantastical and amazing. And this is what engages an audience, something cute, funny, appealing, that is not ugly beyond recognition. At least that's what we get from Western developers, because they feel like that is what the gamers want. And I think that's the thing that is pushing away the player base, and we see that with Concord closing within 2 weeks of its release, where it just couldn't maintain the audience engagement, because who wants to engage with these characters? But I don't think that's going to be a problem with Infinity Nikki. Infinity Nikki just looks like a massively interesting game, even without the cutesy animals and dress up style. The actual gameplay looks interesting and engaging. I think that's the thing I like about Infinity Nikki. It looks cool, it looks interesting, it has interesting game design that looks like it's not so simplistic as some other games that we do see coming out. And I think this is the thing that is going to actually work in the favor of Infinity Nikki. It's a beautiful looking game. You already got the hook of the game players that want to actually play this game, but on top of that, you're bringing in legendary game directors and designers to actually produce the game. And there's a reason why this game looks good even during its gameplay. It looks like something you would see from Nintendo, and because that is probably the case. They hired a legendary director from Zelda and Nintendo to actually produce this game for them. And I think that's the thing that's helping this game beyond anything. They brought in actual experienced talent to actually make the gameplay for this game and to produce it. And I think that's the thing you want to see from a game developer. China might not have the best game developers in the world, but they know how to scout talent to actually produce a game for themselves. And I think that's what we're seeing with Infinity Nikki. It's obvious they gave them free reign to produce this in a way that is conducive to a great looking game, and I think that's what we see with Infinity Nikki. And I think with over 12 million pre-registers for the game, this is flying in the face of the fact that if you bring in the talent, if you spend the money correctly, people will buy your game. People will be excited for your game. This is not a dull time in gaming. This is not a time in gaming where people are not spending money, because they obviously are. Even in China, they're spending hundreds of dollars on this game. They're snapping up all the PS5s in the stores to play Black Myth Wukong, that game. And this is being prepared to be a secondary game that is going to come out on the heels of Black Myth Wukong for PlayStation 5 as well. Another exclusive game for PS5. And it seems like PS5 got lucky and is riding the back of China now in all of their exclusive games, because without these games, I think Sony would be in a predicament right now, because a lot of the games that they're producing are massive failures like Concord. And I think that's the situation that we're seeing here with Sony, with these Chinese developers. They're producing games at a high clip and a high quality. And I don't know what the Western games development sphere response is going to be, because they can't make an Infinity Nikki. And I think that's the thing that is appealing to me. I know no other developer in the Western games development world will be able to create a game like this. Maybe Japan might be able to create it. I haven't seen anything from Korea like this, although they have great character designs. They don't know how to make something this cute, innocent, and playful, even though I know this game goes a little bit dark in certain places. But this is a game that is being made in such a time where not too many games like this are actually being seen. And I think that's the thing people are excited to see. Something unique, engaging, actually pretty looking, with great designs that are not off-putting. And I think this is a rarity within the video gaming sphere, at least recently. And I think now we're going to have more opportunity to see games like this, because China, Korea are stepping up where Japan is shying away a little bit, because they're trying to follow the Western standard of making everything ugly and unappealing to the game players. But I think even Japan, when seeing the success of China and Korea, may step back and think, okay, we used to do stuff like this. We have to keep doing stuff like this, because it's making billions of dollars across the world for all these other countries. And I think that's what I'm hoping for the most by supporting Infinity Nikki. I know it's not the type of game us game players usually play, but I think just having the Zelda game director behind it and seeing some of the gameplay, I'm thinking, okay, this game actually might be interesting and engaging and fun to play. And I think that is a big thing that I'm expecting to see with Infinity Nikki. That's why it's on my top list of games coming out in 2025. I think it's going to take the mantle from Black Myth Wukong as the biggest Chinese game out there. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you're wondering, why are you talking about this dress-up game? This is nothing I want to play. This is not a Souls-like game, and that's a possibility. But just remember, this has a Zelda game director producing it, and this is China asking for talent from Japan. Hey, we're gonna pay you anything you want, just make a legendary game for us. And I think that's what we're getting with Infinity Nikki. But you tell me what you think about the situation. I'd like to hear your thoughts about Infinity Nikki. I'm hyped about it, and I think it looks interesting. It just looks unique and different, and I just want to play something different. And I think that's the thing that captures my attention with Infinity Nikki. But maybe you disagree with me. Leave your comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.